Hello. So sorry it's been a while. It's been rough. Uh, Class has been quite a challenge, but we're doing great. So that's been the highlight, I think. We've been. What else is there to say? Oh, I know. We've been in class for 4 weeks now. We've both done pretty well, I think. They give us weekly exams every Friday. One of them was a speaking test. We both did well on all the things. There is the small one.
Definitely the first week was kind of easy. We were kind of coasting on things we'd already taught ourselves. At the third week, I think we really got hit with how difficult this is going to be.
Yeah, by the third and fourth weeks, we had to learn a lot of new words.
And tenses and conjugate these adverbs and verbs into so you got present, affirmative, present negative, past affirmative, and past negative.
For, adjectives, it's in English it would be is hungry, was hungry, isn't hungry, and wasn't hungry, except in Japanese, the word itself, the word hungry would change in all four of those in weird ways.
So why don't we give them an example? So the word expensive, which also means tall, depending on how it's used, is takai. So present positive is takai desu. It's expensive. Present negative is
takakunai desu.
Past affirmative is
takakata desu.
Past negative is
takakunakatta desu.
takakunakata.
So it was not expensive as takakunakatta desu. Totally different from it is expensive takai desu.
And then they give us this whole long list of adverbs, and it's okay, learn how to conjugate all of them.
And there were 40, and we had a few days to learn them all before the exam, and we did.
We instituted a study party. We got to be either decent friends or acquaintances with everybody in our 8-person class. Every Thursday now after class we go down to first we all get something to eat, then we reconstitute ourselves at a coffee shop called Flip Coffee Supply, which is decently roomy and has a good calm atmosphere. And we have a study party, or as we call it, Benkyou party.
Classes every day from 9:30 until 12:20. 3 sessions of 50 minutes each with 2 10-minute breaks.
10分, yasumi 10分, teacher says.
Meaning take a 10-minute break. Or she'll say let's take a 10-minute break. 10分 yasumi mashou. That's how it goes. And then on Thursdays we get lunch, and then by 1 p.m. we reconvene for a few hours to do homework and study together at the coffee shop.
And Thursday is a good day to do that, since Fridays we're tested for what we learned in the week. So, we can kind of poke each other, drill each other, and if any of us is not sure how this even works, somebody usually knows the answer. Not just him, actually. there are some other students who are whoa, okay, why are you even in this class?
There's one guy who has a Chinese background, and he's doing quite well. So that's how it's gone.
He left us forever, though. He went back to Australia.
Yeah, he was actually this is not uncommon. We have 2 students in the class who were on tourist visas and spent their vacation studying with us.
I guess it sort of makes sense with him, because he was at least here for a reasonable amount of time and he had a homestay. But somebody else came for 2 of the weeks out of the whole month.
He had a 2-week vacation and he spent it in class with us. Go figure. And on top of that, he got dropped in the middle of this month-long class, so it took he had to scramble to catch up. A couple of the other students I don't think will go will go through the whole program with us. The program is about 18 months.
Yeah, 6 months beginners, 6 months intermediate, 6 months advanced.
One of them, for example, he has a Japanese wife, and that they chose to live here, and that's why he's doing the class. But he's only going to do the first 6 months.
He needs to go back to work.
But I don't know if that's going to pay off well for him, because really the way language study often goes is until you get to the advanced levels you feel very little payoff. I mean, don't get me wrong, you learn stuff every day, but suppose you're going to have a conversation with somebody at a grocery store, there's a million ways they could depart from the script in how they answer, and you're not going to be able to contend with that.
See, I'm not sold for 2 reasons. First of all, we went from counting out numbers in the first week to complex sentences in the past and present, negative and positive tenses. That's number one in just 1 month. And number two is that he's married to a Japanese woman who speaks Japanese fluently. And she can definitely, talk about private tutoring.
Yeah, so,
Hey!
Hello. So as I was saying, it's, yeah, he has all these advantages, but he's had them for the last 2 years, and they didn't help him learn very much Japanese.
He didn't have a base! This is giving him a base.
The base is small. So maybe it'll do something. Don't get me wrong. Every day we're learning new things, and we can have conversations with teacher and whatnot, and that's great. But there's just it's fast.
Look, we've made a lot of progress. We can even take notes basically at speed in the hiragana lettering. Kanji, we only know a few of them, and those take a lot longer to draw out, but for the rest of it we can basically write at speed in hiragana lettering, taking notes.
Yeah, so teacher will write things on the whiteboard, and we can transcribe the notes pretty much the same speed we would in English, and that's kind of cool.
We have to stick to routine though, because the studying is more intensive than I thought it would be based on the first 2 weeks. So we're up at 7:30, we're out the door at 8:30, we're at class at 9:30, we leave class at 12:30. We go get lunch. I then have to go, this is something I just discovered in the last week or so. I need to go to a coffee shop because it keeps me focused, and I don't get to leave the coffee shop until I have organized all my notes and done my homework and drilled whatever I need to drill. And then I get to come home. Then it's gym, maybe clean up some, if I need to do any laundry. And I'm desperately trying to check my brain out. And then in the evening we watch some House. We come back together, it's hey, let's watch an episode of House, MD.
And after that it's probably bed.
Basically. And that's Monday through Friday.
So the study and all that stuff, between that and class, it's most of our day.
Yeah, and if it's been if it's a day where they dumped really a lot of us, studying after class can be easily another 3 hours or more. If you're wondering why you haven't heard from us in a while,
it's that.
And even on the weekends, it's we don't want to think about anything. We just want to, play a game or get some good food or...
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but we are well. We are doing good. So we haven't really been exploring for a while, but I still do have some old footage I haven't showed you, so I will put together another video of hijinks and escapades.
Oh, enjoy. We're pretty much settled with our bureaucratic work at this point. We have, all the paperwork that we're going to need. Things are rolling along smoothly. Also, we found a wonderful German store. The way we found it is that at a Christmas market back in December, they were there showing off their hot mulled wine. We wound up going to the German store and
tracking it down.
We tracked it down. We went there a few times. We found out they have amazing German sausage that tastes delicious. So I bought a frying pan and we
cast iron or something like it.
Something some hard metal.
I'm learning how to take care of cast iron now.
I'm learning how to cook without the non-stick surfaces.
So we have nice crisp sausage, and I'll make a round of mashed potatoes and stuff.
And that makes a really great meal.
And he's a friendly guy. They're very, very chatty, very talkative.
A lot of fun. Always look forward to going there. So we started cooking a little bit. Almost all of our meals are still at the various eateries around, which are really amazing quality and range from very cheap to not so much. We can get bowls of like rice with beef or chicken on top, which is like very delicious and taste very like healthy and filling. We can get like one of those for each of us for say $13 total. That's for the 2 bowls, and that's eating cheap, and it's very good, and we can do that every day. Or if we want something tastier, then good quality sushi or eel are some good options, and those can get more expensive. That can go for like between $20 and $30 a person. So there you have it. Like, hope you guys are all doing well.
Missing you.
じゃあね。
Kyotsukete.
Kyotsukete. That
Take care.
means take care.
Wait, I forgot. I got a few questions from one of you. Inquiring fiber artists want to know if you have found the Japanese fiber community, yarn stores, their amazing craft books. So the answer is I passed by in the park a group of women who were clearly crocheting and knitting, and that's really all the yarn community I'm aware of. I can't really hook into the yarn community because I can't speak the language. There is one lady who works at the cafe where the international group is hosted. She doesn't speak any English, but every time I come there crocheting, she comes over, she wants to try and talk with me. We've had conversations through Google Translate at each other. That was several weeks ago. Maybe I can actually say some things to her now. And she says that she also does, I'm not sure if it's knitting or crocheting, but she makes cute little animals out of yarn. I have found 2 yarn stores. One that was recommended by the questioner. It's called Okadaya, and another one because at first I couldn't actually I thought it was under construction, so I had to go try and find another one. So the other one I found is called Yuzawaya. Now Okadaya definitely has a wider selection, but Yuzawaya might be a little less expensive. Yarn doesn't really come in huge giant skeins. Nothing comes in huge giant anything in Japan. So this is about the biggest you're going to get in terms of large quantities of yarn at a time, which makes it kind of even more expensive here to try and make blankets, for example. But I have already made a few hats, and I'm in the process of 2 scarves and a blanket and another hat. I need to finish some things. I need to finish something soon. But you know, when I'm chilling after I'm done with everything I need to do, listening to a podcast or watching an anime, then I'll just, so while I check my brain out, I'll send my hands into overdrive. I don't do craft books. I really never have, and I don't think that I probably will. I don't know how to read patterns. I did one time. I had a friend requested that I make a specific kind of hat, and for this friend, I learned how to read the one pattern, and I only learned how to read it correctly because there was also an accompanying video showing me that's what that means, that mode and that many, and yeah. So I don't read patterns, I don't write patterns. Mostly self-taught. I'm not into the craft book scene, I'm very sorry. The other question this person had was, and Japanese libraries, do you get to apply for a card as a non-national? Cart before the horse, my friend. I cannot even speak the language correctly, much less read it. It's going to be a while before I even try. I just learned the word for library, toshokan. There we go, toshokan. And a bookstore is called a honya. The word for book is hon, so honya is bookstore. Toshokan for a library. I'd say maybe in a year, I might be able to answer that question for you. For now, I have purchased a few, 1 volume each from some of my favorite, what were my favorite animes. They're mangas. So I came with the first volume of Trigun, and when I talked to someone in the international group, they said, yeah, that's really advanced for your level. That's not a beginner one. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, so what do you recommend? And they gave me a few recommendations, and on them was Cardcaptor Sakura. I recognized this one, Cardcaptor Sakura, which is actually also Sergei's favorite anime. I could only find volume 4. They didn't have 1, 2, and 3 where I was at. So I have volume 4 here, and if it's a beginner one, then maybe I can actually do a little bit of reading, see if I can piece together what they're saying. And this was not on the recommendation list, but I love this anime, March Comes Like a Lion, Sangatsu no Rayon, very good anime. Would be interested in seeing if I could read this. Also, I think I'm gonna have to be able to read those before I even consider trying to get a library card, but that's a good challenge. And until then, my Kindle has access to the Houston Public Library, the Harris County Library, and the LA Public Library, which I snatched up right before I left. So I've got plenty of reading material right here. Do I wish it was a physical book every time? Yes, I do, but I have to make do with what I've got. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much. Kyotsukite.